Now it's officially rhubarb season, so I figured I'd share a really quick and easy rhubarb crumble recipe with you guys that tastes good in really any season. Now for this crumble, you can use either fresh rhubarb or frozen rhubarb or thawed rhubarb. Now it comes together really fast. I think it only took like maybe 10 minutes, and you can also add in just about any fruit that you want to make it your own. And let me know in the comments as well what your favorite crumble or crisp flavor is. Now without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now the first thing we're going to do is just prep our rhubarb layer. Now I figured before I use fresh rhubarb from the garden, I'm going to use up any of the old rhubarb we still have left in our freezer. So I already went ahead and thawed 2 bags of my cut up rhubarb. So that's about 500 grams, roughly, give or take. Now you definitely don't need to thaw your rhubarb, but if it's kind of frozen together in like a big chunk and it's kind of hard to separate and there's a lot of ice crystals, I'd say just give it a quick thaw. Now as you can tell, my rhubarb has a lot of moisture now that it's been thawed, so I'm going to go ahead and drain off most of that extra water from my rhubarb, but I'm going to leave just a little bit. Now I already just went ahead and placed this into my baking dish, and I'm going to sprinkle over 30 grams of flour and 30 grams of sugar. Now you can adjust the amount of sugar that you use depending on how sweet you want your rhubarb crumble to be, as well as how sweet your rhubarb already is. Now the flour is really important because it's going to help absorb any of that moisture and thicken it up. Now you can also add in just about any other fruits that you want. I think apples would be really good, as well as strawberries, but I'm just going to leave it just like this because I don't have any other fruit on hand. Now we can just set this aside for now while we get our actual crumble ready. Now the crumble that's going to go on top comes together really fast and it's super easy to make. So for that, you're going to need 75 grams of softened butter, 75 grams of sugar with a good pinch of salt and cinnamon, 100 grams of flour, 50 grams of almond slices, but you can use any nuts that you want. I think hazelnuts would also be really good. And last but not least, of course, a good splash of vanilla extract. Now crumble really is the easiest thing to make ever. So all we're going to do is add everything into a mixing bowl and quickly mix that together until we have a crumbly consistency. That's literally it. Now I'm not going to add my almonds quite yet because I don't want them to get all crushed up when we mix this together. Now that we have a nice crumbly consistency, we can quickly fold in our almonds. Now if you prefer having bigger chunks of your streusel on top, you can simply push your dough together with your fingers, and that's going to help it stick together into bigger chunks. Now the last thing we have to do is spread this out all over our rhubarb. Now this is going to wander into the oven that's been preheated to 200 degrees Celsius or 392 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's going to bake for about 30 to 35 minutes. Now if you're using frozen rhubarb, you might need to bake your crumble for an additional 5 minutes or so. You basically just want the top to be nice and golden brown. And there you have it, our super quick and easy rhubarb crumble. So that's going to be everything for today's video. If you enjoyed it, you can give it a thumbs up or write me a comment down below. And as always, the whole recipe is going to be in the description box as well.